Hello everyone, let's try straight into AI Builder in Canvas apps. The formal definition of AI Builder is a Power Platform capability that provides AI models designed to optimize your business processes by extracting insights from your data, images, and text. In plain everyday English, it is like giving your app a set of eyes and a brain that can read. Before AI Builder, if you wanted an app to understand a photo or a piece of text, you had to be a rocket scientist. Now you just drag a component onto your screen. Imagine you are running a small construction company. Usually your workers have to type in long serial numbers from heavy machinery. With AI Builder, they just point their phone camera at the machine and the app sees the number and types it in for them. Stay with me here because we are moving away from manual data entry and moving toward automatic understanding. You've probably seen this at the office where people spend hours typing information from paper into a computer. Well, AI Builder is the end of that boring work. Let's break this down together. We are making our apps observant. So, now that we've mastered the idea that our apps can see and read, you might be wondering about the specific tool we use when we want the app to look at a messy pile of words and find the hidden meaning. Well, that brings us right into our next step, which is text recognition and sentiment analysis. This brings us to text models. The technical definition describes these as natural language processing models that can identify specific entities, categorize text, or detect the emotional tone known as sentiment within a string of characters. To speak naturally, it is understanding the vibe and the facts. It's not just about seeing letters, it's about knowing what they mean. Imagine a dummy example. You have a feedback box in your app. A customer types, "I hate that the coffee was cold, but the barista was very nice." A regular app just stores that text. An intelligent app using AI Builder says, "Aha, the sentiment is negative regarding the product, but positive regarding the staff." It can even pull out the word coffee as the main topic. You've probably noticed at the office how some emails feel urgent and others don't. AI Builder can actually sort your inbox by how angry or happy the customers are. Let's break this down together. We are teaching our app to read between the lines. So now that we've mastered how our app can understand the feeling behind a message, you might be wondering how we handle the physical world, like when we need the app to look at a photo and recognize a specific object. Well, that brings us right into our next step, which is object detection and vision models. Now we need to talk about object detection. The textbook definition says this is a computer vision capacity that allows an AI model to identify, locate, and count specific items within an image or a video feed. In simple everyday English, it's the digital stock counter. You teach the app what a specific thing looks like, and then it can find it anywhere. Imagine a dummy example of a grocery store manager. Instead of counting every apple on the shelf, they just take a quick photo. The AI Builder model looks at the photo and says, "I see 12 red apples, 4 green apples, and 1 banana." It circles them on the screen so you know it's right. Stay with me here because this saves hours of manual counting. You've probably seen this at the office during inventory week when everyone is exhausted. Object detection turns that week into a 5-minute task. Let's break this down together. We are giving our intelligent interface the ability to count and categorize the physical world. So now that we've mastered how our app can count objects in a photo, you might be wondering how we handle those official documents like invoices or ID cards that have a very specific layout. Well, that brings us right into our next step, which is form processing and document intelligence. This brings us to form processing. The technical documentation defines this as a model that extracts pairs of data and table information from documents like invoices, receipts, or tax forms by learning the underlying structure of the page. In plain language, it is the smart scanner. It doesn't just see a picture of a page, it knows that the number next to the word total is actually the price you need to pay. Imagine a dummy example. Your company gets 100 electricity bills every month. Usually, someone has to find the account number and the amount due on every single page. With AI Builder, you just train the model on 5 examples of the bill, and from then on, the app pulls that data out automatically. You've probably seen this at the office when people are surrounded by piles of paper. Form processing is the digital shredder for that manual work. Let's break this down together. We are turning static paper into live data that our app can use to trigger payments or alerts. So now that we've mastered the surgical precision of pulling data from forms, you might be wondering how we actually put these models into our Canvas app without having to write a million lines of code. Well, that brings us right into our next step, which is using pre-built versus custom models. Let's dive into pre-built and custom models. The formal definition describes pre-built models as ready-to-use AI components provided by Microsoft for common tasks, while custom models are those you train yourself using your own specific business data. To put it very simply, it is store-bought versus homemade. If you just need to read a standard business card or a receipt, you use a pre-built model. It's ready to go the second you click it. But if you have a very special part in your factory that only your company makes, you need a custom model. You take 20 photos of that part, show them to AI Builder and say, this is a widget A. Stay with me here because the custom path is where your app becomes a specialist. You've probably noticed at the office how some tools feel generic. Using custom models makes your app feel like it was built specifically for your team's secret sauce. Let's break this down together. We choose the right tool for the job to balance speed and accuracy. So, now that we've mastered how to pick and train our AI helpers, you might be wondering how we ensure that the AI isn't making mistakes or hallucinating things that aren't there. Well, that brings us right into our next step, which is confidence scores and data validation. Finally, we reach confidence scores. This is a numerical value returned by the AI model that represents the probability that the identified result is correct, allowing the app to trigger human review if the score is too low. In our relaxed classroom tone, it simply means the AI's certainty meter. The AI is honest. If it sees a blurry photo, it might say, I think this is an apple, but I'm only 60% sure. As a builder, you can tell the app, if the AI is less than 80% sure, don't save the data. Ask a human to double check it. In my 25 years, I have seen that this human in the loop is the secret to a successful intelligent app. You've probably noticed at the office how frustrating it is when a computer makes a dumb mistake. Confidence scores help us catch those mistakes before they happen. Let's break this down together. We are building an app that is smart enough to know when it needs help. We've looked at giving our app eyes, understanding the vibe of text, counting objects, pulling data from forms, picking store-bought versus homemade models, and finally checking the certainty meter. We've mastered using AI Builder in Canvas apps. Well, that brings us right into our next chapter.